I have overcome so much in this game, and I've come to understand that I am not a shield, I am a sword. I am not a victim, I am a victor.
We'll see.
You know, it's really overwhelming. I went from having a very, I'll be honest, traumatic experience in the house and wondering what my own sanity was. Like, I lived in a very warped experience where I did not feel like I was right in my gut or I was right in my instincts. And sometimes when I was in the house, I felt like I was having a moment from The Office where I would just look to a camera and be like, are y'all seeing this? Like, is this real? Like, can you believe what I'm experiencing right now? And to walk out of the house, I'm getting emotional already. To walk out of the house and to win 8-1 by people who I had to put a lot of work into to see me as human. I did a lot of work to make sure I had those votes secured for jury. But to be able to flip those people and to see me as a human being and see me as deserving of winning the game, to have earned their favor, and also to have seen that I won AFP and just now get my phone back and be beloved and see I was trending on Twitter all the time and have big brands like Lay's reaching out to me when I was just eating a snack that I love. It's just so validating to have.
Snack too, Lay's.
That's right, yes.
The Lay's? And I've come to understand that I am not a shield, I am a sword. I am not a victim, I am a victor.
Not the cap. One twice over.
Made history over and over and over again.
I thank you guys for forging through, because it can be really easy to say when things get ugly, this does not deserve coverage. But I think you guys made a really hard decision in saying, no, we are going to, we're going to watch this. We're going to stick it through and we're going to talk about this very honestly, because there is a lot of, oh, it's just the game. I was just playing the game. But the way that things played out for me is that it was very personal. Like, the things that were said about me were very personal. There were things that crossed many lines. And, you know, I think sometimes maybe you can play that game as long as you make it clear to the person that you're talking about, hey, I'm going to be in places and say some things I don't want to do. But that just wasn't the case for me. So for you all to decide, we are going to be honest, we are going to stick through this and show the world the truth and communicate and break down why this resonates and why it's important for the real world. You know, my success in this game would not be possible without the hard work that you did. And I think that.
And I've come to understand that I am not a shield, I am a sword. I am not a victim, I am a victor.
Oh, no, you didn't. Wait a minute. No, you didn't.
I think there's two sides of that coin. So on the top side, my side, right? I am so overwhelmed by the love and support, because when you're in that house, you wonder, am I crazy? Am I reading too much into this? I know this is how I feel and I'm seeing patterns, but is all America picking up on that? Do the Americans who are watching, do they care about this conversation? Are there enough of them to even support me in this conversation? And especially coming after a season with the Cookout, you wonder, is it safe for me to openly have this conversation? Or is America going to be waiting outside of this Big Brother house with pitchforks? And telling me to shut up, we already did the thing. Obama won the presidency, racism doesn't exist anymore. The Cookout happened, there's no more racism in Big Brother. So it's been the most incredible, overwhelming experience to know, no, Taylor, you were right. There's a lot in that house, game or personal, that makes you think, oh, I'm very wrong here. But no, when I was right, I was right.
And I've come to understand that I am not a shield, I am a sword. I am not a victim, I am a victor.
See, that's that damn attitude that gets you kicked out of the house.
So now you see exactly what I was talking about.
Yeah, pile on is right. You know, that confrontation with Danny Nicole was, having now seen that scene, even more harrowing than I thought it was in the moment.
What was that?
Yeah, pile on is right. You know, that confrontation with Danny Nicole was, having now seen that scene, even more harrowing than I thought it was in the moment. Yeah, pile on is right. You know, that confrontation with Danny Nicole was, having now seen that scene, even more harrowing than I thought it was in the moment.
Let's rock.
All right.
I felt alone. I think the most painful thing about that confrontation, it wasn't the yelling, it wasn't the accusation of, toying with someone's mental health for the purpose of the game. It was the fact that I mean, you can see it. I'm literally looking around for somebody to say something or tell me something I don't know or understand, and everyone is silent. And one person says, just walk away. And I just, that's when I was like, why am I here? What is the purpose of me being here? There is silence. There is a bubble around me, and people are walking away from that bubble.
When I've come to understand that I am not a shield, I am a sword. I am not a victim, I am a victor.
Flirters, you better grab a life vest.
Well, it's very interesting when we talk about colorism, because it's like white people and racism, or, white people and racism. It's so easy to say, well, that wasn't my intention, so I wasn't racist, or that wasn't my intention, so I wasn't colorist. But I think it's more powerful if we say, maybe I do have biases, and maybe I unknowingly acted on them. And maybe because of the way I've been conditioned in the world, regardless of how good of a person I think that I am, maybe there is still a piece of me that is willing to act on the ugliest aspects of myself, because it's how we're socialized and conditioned by our experiences in life. So, I don't doubt that Jasmine and Amira have full spans of experiences as Black women walking through this world. I don't doubt that they have full spectrums of loved ones, friends, family members of Blackness that they hold close to them. But I think it might be interesting, and maybe I'll have this conversation with them, but it might be interesting to push back on the people they hold close to them that look all different types of ways, and the people they're first meeting, me. And again, we're in a competitive environment. There are other factors that will push you to the most extreme version of your thoughts for the sake of self-preservation. But I don't think there is a way that we can look at this game, the way it was played this year, and say that it was a coincidence that I had the ugliest, most race-driven attacks against me, and I just so happened to be the darkest one in the house.
When I've come to understand that I am not a shield, I am a sword. I am not a victim, I am a victor.
How, Sway? Take a few steps back to go.
You ain't got the answers, man. You ain't got the answers. You ain't got the answers. You ain't got the answers, Sway.
Opportunities in this house where I was never given the benefit to just be nice. And in other aspects with Monty, that conversation I had, it took a lot for us to grow from where we started in the game to where we were at that point in the game as just friends. I was really excited to reach that point with him. So for him to so quickly revert into wanting to push me back into a smaller position, I grew larger as a more bold, I took up more space, and I think he was threatened by the fact that I was taking up so much space. So he was insinuating, you need to be smaller, you need to go back to what I'm more comfortable with. And luckily enough, at that point in the game, I had enough under my belt to say, no, I'm not going to just be nice anymore.
When I've come to understand that I am not a shield, I am a sword. I am not a victim, I am a victor.
Yo, the devil's in full effect.
Yeah, I lived it. I've seen the clip on Twitter a few times, and I finally watched the scene in the context of the entire episode. So the door is closed. To be completely frank here, the door between Daniel and I is closed. I wanted to put a bow on that. That's why I hugged him at finale. I did speak to him, and he spoke to me on finale night. I just remember saying something like, no bad blood, because I don't want to carry that pain. Uh-oh, am I frozen?
Yeah.
I'm back. Okay, I don't want to carry that pain. It's kind of like grabbing a hot coal. The harder you grab it, the more it burns you. It's just not necessary for me to move on and grow. So I wanted to close that book and move on. And I know that there are plenty of people in the world who can be angry on my behalf. That's just not something I'm willing to carry. But if there's anybody in that situation or scenario that I was in, like you said, the moment when you realize, oh, we're not friends like I thought we were, you're coming for me. You don't have to carry anger against that person. And that's okay. It's okay to put your own sanity and well-being first and not have to be angry forever about that. But it also, there is a boundary, and we are not going to be communicating.
When I've come to understand that I am not a shield, I am a sword. I am not a victim, I am a victor.
But the women,
I've been clued in a little bit to what Paloma's reception was outside of her week in the house. And no, I haven't heard anything from Paloma, unfortunately. I was hoping that there'd be some sort of making amends there, but I haven't heard anything from her. The most I've contacted Daniel was on finale night, and I gave him a hug and I just said, I hope there's no bad blood. And he said, oh, for sure. I have since seen some other things online, but
Yeah.
So we all choose our path.
And I've come to understand that I am not a shield, I am a sword. I am not a victim, I am a victor.
Look, I used to tell people, like, I love cancel culture, but it's because I understand cancel culture in a different way of other people. I look at cancel culture as more of accountability. Like, no, if you said something, here it is, I'm gonna put it in your face. You need to be held accountable for what you said. But then the other end of that, the end of that sentence is there is space for you to atone for your sins. There is space for you to come back, because if we push all the dunces in a corner, we're just gonna have a whole bunch of dunces that'll be more and coming back on us. So, you know, I think there is a really interesting dynamic here where, as someone coming out with over 200,000 followers of this game, it is the tsunami of love that I've gotten is overwhelming. I can't imagine as an individual person what it would be like to have that tsunami in a form of hate. And as much as I am giving myself the space and time to decide where my relationships will lie with each of the people, I also don't want them to be met with a tsunami of hate that's going to reaffirm their anger. I want them to have the space to have the mental capacity to realize what they've done and have the space to apologize for it. Like, do I want my apologies today on a silver platter? Absolutely. But it's not the apology that I want or deserve if the people who have done the wrongdoings don't have the space to really grapple with what they've done and give a full-fledged apology.
And I've come to understand that I am not a shield, I am a sword. I am not a victim, I am a victor.
I am a high school bitch. Oh my God. Wow. Kind of love it.
I've watched basically every stream that you put together since I've been out this crib, because it's been that therapy for me, because it's been like, how do people do not see this game in plain sight like he sees it? So I was just like, oh yeah, I need to deep dive. So I just been locked in ever since. And then Daniel had said, oh yeah, cool as ice. And I was like, okay, cool. And then, hey, that's been it with me, bro. And I've been in. And I was like, I wasn't gonna grant nobody else an interview, because just one, for the simple fact that I rock with, you know, outlets that represent what I talk about. And to me, what you talk about is, and the energy that you bring to it, you guys are dead to me, like y'all the Breakfast Club of interviews for when leaving Big Brother house. If you don't want to go to the Breakfast Club, to me, this is the Breakfast Club of LA.